If you've ever had any interest in VR and checked out some of the videos, the first person always says the same thing. It's impossible to represent what I'm seeing in this headset with a video that you're watching now, and there's really no way around that. I was like, I don't know, man, I think I get a general idea, but you really need to be in it to fully get it. So hey guys, it's Untitled, and thanks to Katie, I finally have my hands on some Oculus Rift activity, and I booted up my old standby Elite Dangerous, a game I was really into about a year or two ago, and now I'm back in it because it's one of the best games you can play right now in VR. This game was designed from the ground up almost with VR in mind. I'm not sure if that was actually the case or not, but even all the interfaces are floating in the space within the cockpit, and you have to like glance at them to get them to activate. Now, without VR, there was still plenty of natural ways to make that happen. You'd kind of go left with the controller, up with the controller, down with the controller, forward, right. But now it just makes so much more sense. When I need these HUD elements, I just glance over, I'm like, oh god, that's right. So enough about how I've got here and what my setup currently is. What's the deal? Why is this so amazing? I've played this game a lot on both a large monitor and a TV a couple times. And you would think that that would be a similar experience, but it can't possibly accurately convey the size of everything. And as soon as you're within the ship, you suddenly have a total adjustment in terms of how big things are. First of all, you just have a brand new appreciation for what kind of ship you have in the cockpit and everything else, because I love that I have a big wide open, I don't know if windshield's the right, what's the word, but like, oh my god, it just totally caught me by surprise that the station's over there. And it just blew me away. And I don't know how to explain what that feels like, but you feel the size. There's a difference between seeing a picture of the Empire State Building and standing next to it. It's just so cool. And it's just like all the little things that you just didn't care about suddenly are like a big deal. Now, Elite Dangerous is a really cool game. But after a while, you do have to have some imagination and kind of put yourself in the mindset of a space traveler. Because otherwise, you're just gonna kind of not care. It's a game where it's easy to become disenchanted with like these amazing jumps through space. Now that's a lot harder to become disenchanted with when you're in VR. It's just so cool. I'm like, what? Like I can look back here and it's like, wow, there's my shit back there. Oh god, I wasn't paying attention. Let's launch. But I know some of you are saying like, yeah, whatever. Like, who cares, man? It's not that big of a deal. And that's true. Like if space travel and space isn't really your thing, that's fine. But whether or not it's there yet, VR is totally the future. There's still some things we need to work out. Obviously, I'm stuck in this chair. And even if I got up and moved around, that would probably feel really weird and make me really dizzy. There's that whole problem of like, how do you move a person while I'm sitting in the chair? Your mind doesn't like it. It gets nauseous. And some very smart people, I'm sure, are trying to solve that problem and figure out how to fix it. All right, now where am I going? But it's like, before I was like, yeah, I've got this ship, and this is the ship that I currently use to like play my space game. Now it feels like my ship. I'm like, this is my ship. I totally immediately wanted to outfit it with all sorts of cool stuff that you can buy to make like the paint job better and everything. I love that now I feel like it's me. This is my ship. I am out in space flying in this ship. There I am. That's me. I could keep saying just over and over again, it's just so cool. But obviously not every game right now works for this kind of situation. Racing games are amazing. Anything where your cockpit is perfect. But anything where you have to move a body, questionably so. I mean, there's like Fallout 4 VR and Skyrim VR, and people seem to really enjoy it. So I guess at some speeds, maybe it's not a very big deal. But like earlier, so I was getting attacked because I was carrying some stuff, and like people were sending me messages saying, I'm gonna pull you out of orbit and screw you, and I'm gonna attack your ship. And in the past, I would have probably not even noticed that I got the message. It's kind of hard to notice sometimes, there's this tiny little interface. But now I heard the little beacon, I looked up, I saw the message like basically saying, fuck you, you're done. And I was like, shit. Looking around trying to see where he is. It was just such a different experience. It's hard to explain why it feels so different, but it suddenly feels like you are in the situation. Oh my god, and I could see that happen like a million times in a row. And oh my god, does it have the opportunity to make you feel really dizzy. But not in a way that, like this game, I don't feel like when I feel dizzy that that's VR's fault. Like I would feel dizzy in real life if I spun around like a crazy person in a ship. And I don't mean like the casual rotation, like this doesn't bother me too much. It's when I turn off flight assists, and it's just like, oh god, we've got full spin here. That starts to get me. I mean, there are totally some problems with the experience. Obviously, the game is incredibly intensive in VR. You've got to render it at a high resolution twice, essentially in 3D and to a headset and all this other stuff. And I'm sure there's other kind of calculations going on there to ensure that I can do all this. So you need a high-end computer. And I can say for games like this, when visually it's lacking some fidelity, you notice. Now, originally I thought that the resolution of the headset would be the biggest detractor. And to be honest, it's not. It's great. I think it's great. Sure, I'd like a higher resolution screen, but I can read stuff in VR games. Now, where you lose that is those like big picture modes, any mode where it's rendering the screen inside like a 3D virtual environment. Yeah, the text on that kind of stuff is a little screwed up. That would only work for like movies or games that don't have a lot of on-screen text or HUDs and stuff. But in VR, everything that I need to be able to read, I can read very well. I think I just gotta find, because I was trying to enter. Oh, that's so cool. Where'd it go? Ah, I could just watch these ships fly around all day. So neat. All right, but seriously, I gotta enter. Jeez, now we're fine. 14. I see it in there. I'm so slow with my landing gear. Ah, so neat. That's my sheep. That's my sheep. But all of a sudden, little details of these stations, like cars driving around in circular fashion around the station walls, that stuff all means so much now. It didn't used to matter, but now it's everything. And for better or worse, I'm now totally blocked off from the external world, which sounds silly at first, but like, I can't grab a glass of water. I can't check my phone. I can't do anything. And that does totally add to the immense immersion that I'm experiencing. Like, it's awesome. But you do miss it. You're like, oh, that's kind of a problem. But like, look over here. Hang on, how do I get rid of this? Free cam. Look at this. There's like little cars over here that are rolling around. Oh, signal lost. Don't do that to me. They're just flying around, just rolling around. And before, you'd kind of notice them. You're like, oh, that's a neat little detail. But now that you're in VR, everything seems so important and just big. But like all these little details I can go investigate now. Wish I could before, but it just didn't seem to matter. Now it matters. I mean, like I said, it's not a perfect experience. And I think the more that you can create games like this where it's immersive, where if there was like a, you know, for that camera, if I had to walk over to a monitor over there to like use that camera and I was looking at the monitor in the game, that would make me less dizzy. It would still be like a really cool experience. But anybody that's ever been on like Star Tours at Disney or any kind of VR simulation experience where you're just kind of like in it and it's happening, I feel like I'm playing that thing all the time. It's been very hard for me to stop playing, which is probably why this video is taking so long to get out. So I'm going to attempt to take down Dagar, Pirate Lord, which probably is too hard for me to actually do. Now, I haven't seen a ton of games coming out for VR that actually have me very excited. Most of the games I was thrilled about were games that already existed that I just knew would work well in VR. I think the platform has a lot of growing to do. It seems like the public at least is very excited about VR, they're just not sure what to do with it yet. And as soon as somebody can figure out these little issues and make some amazing games, like Elite Dangerous but in different formats, because not everybody wants to be a space trucker pirate. I totally get that. Which is too bad. Because it's awesome. And that is a larger problem, is that a lot of people get sick while playing VR. But it depends what you're playing and how you play it. They've started to add like intensity warnings to each game. No, I mean, this game is an intense game, but it's not because VR is the problem. Like, it's because when I spin like this, that can be dizzying if I look to the side. My body's expecting to feel certain things and it doesn't. But even if I spun like that in real life, I would be dizzy. So we'll see how this, fight goes down, because A, I haven't fought in this ship yet and I have no idea how it's going to handle it. Probably not great. I've heard the shield strength is a bit of a problem. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The second we have a solid MMO that works in VR that's a fun experience, I'll never leave. But it's so hard. I want to reach out and touch the ceiling, and I know it's not really there. Save, disengage, ready. Whoa. Whoa. Federal assault ship. Cobra Mark III. Type 9 heavy. Yeah, depending on what kind of ship this guy's in, I don't think I'm going to be able to actually take him. What? Whoa. Ah. Dagar has found me. Oh god, we're in trouble. He's already kicking my ass. Oh my god, what? Ah! Oh, I've never died in space. Oh, that's uncomfortable. Oh, I felt the vastness of space. So yeah, he was a bit too hard for me. I didn't even actually get to engage. Oh, we're back. We've lost a little bit of money. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to give you a little intro. I'll probably hop into some other games as well to show you all. But if anybody's on the fence, I would say this. It is an incredible experience, and if you like certain types of games like racing games or Elite Dangerous or anything with a cockpit, you're going to love this, especially if it has integration with VR. If you're not into that stuff, chances are you're also going to love the other games that come with it, the other kind of games that you can play, but there aren't that many. So I worry that after a little bit of time, the investment would start to feel like a waste because you wouldn't be using it as much anymore. I think down the line, VR is going to explode and some amazing games are going to come out for it because this experience is just too cool. Anyways, guys, I got so excited about a new Elite Dangerous promotion that I got, as well as new things that I could outfit my ship with, that I totally forgot to record an outro. But let me know what you're thinking with VR. If you've experienced it, if you haven't, what are your thoughts? I've enjoyed it a ton with games like Elite Dangerous, but it is sort of limited right now to games that have a natural VR integration that just sort of fits with the theme of the game and the design. Basically, cockpit games are very, very slow moving games like Alien Isolation, which I have not checked out yet, but I love that game, and I'm sure it would be absolutely terrifying. Obviously, games designed from the ground up to be fun in VR are great, but there just aren't that many of them right now. But I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you want to see more VR videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, you should totally think about subscribing. I've got videos coming out twice a week, and if you like this one, there's at least a chance you like some of the others that are very similar to this, so live dangerously. Let me know what you guys thought about the video in the comments, and other videos you'd like to see. And finally, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Huntin for Games to keep up with all the latest stuff. See ya.